And you talk a little bit about the difference between kidifying a story and making it kid accessible. So can you unpack that a little bit for me?
Yeah, these are terms that I kind of coined to help me filter whether or not a story should be for a kid. And so, sort of to what we said before about the ones I opted in for, like Rahab, and the ones I left out, like Noah's Ark. To me, a kid accessible story is one where I, as the adult who maybe knows more about the Bible, can figure out how to tell it to a kid in a way that is aligned with where I think that story is really meant to go, what I think that the writer was trying to help us see, what I think God is up to, that there is language and phrasing and such that I can bring to a kid, but that eventually someday, if the kid reads the text for themselves, they feel like they match. Kidifying, on the other hand, is a term that I developed to try and explain how we might look at a story, realize there's things that aren't for kids, and in order to tell the kid, we have to basically change the story. And then someday they would read it and be like, wait, that's not what it's about at all. And I think that a certain vegetable cartoon doing David and Bathsheba as I'm jealous of your rubber ducky is a kidified version that although there might be a possessive theme, that's really pretty far afield to what's going on. But if we were to tell Rahab's story, and I don't go into detail about her line of work or how the spies cross paths with her, but then someday you read it, and what I have said is they look down on her for how she went about surviving, and then you go and you learn she is a prostitute. It's like, okay, well, those are of a fit. And so I found it to be really helpful because I don't want to make the choice as someone who does not know somebody's child for which stories are for them. And so I got to choose for Wonder which ones I like and think all kids can be invited into. But I also think it's a helpful way as an adult for me to look at, is this one right for my kid right now? And if I can tell them a faithful version, then it is. And if I can't, I can just save it for later. If it's going to be this kidified, turn it into a moral or leave out a massive important detail or pivot what it's actually going for, then it's just not for them right now. It's not a forever thing. It's just waiting for them to grow into being able to access those themes.